Have you ever looked at an active duty soldier and thought, they must be set, they must be making good money? You see the uniform, you see the benefit, you see the steady paycheck, and you think, man, that is security. But let me tell you something most people don't realize. Veterans can often earn more money than active duty soldiers. I know it sounds backward. How could someone who already left the military be making more than the ones who are still in uniform? But it is true. And I'm going to break it down why. Because if you don't know this, you will think your only way to stability is to stay in forever. And that is a lie. The truth is, with the right plan, the veteran life can set you up with more money, more freedom, and more peace than you ever thought possible. On this channel, I show you how 3 years can buy you a lifetime bag. Here is the problem. When you are inside the military, you are trapped in the mindset. The paycheck on the 1st and the 15th is everything. That LES is your lifetime. You add up your base pay, your BAS, your BAH, and you think, well, it is not amazing, but at least it is guaranteed. You know the joke, right? Every soldier can tell you exactly how many days until payday, down to the hour. Why? Because most are living check to check. And when you live check to check, a guaranteed check feels like freedom. But is it really? Or is it a leash? Let me paint you a picture. An E4 with a few years in might clear $2,500 base salary and another $1,500 to $2,000 for housing if they are lucky, plus a few hundred for BAS, maybe $4,500 or $5,000 gross on paper. Sounds okay, but split that against rent, food, car, family, maybe kids, maybe debt, and suddenly it does not look like much, especially when you remember that you are working non-stop. Nights, weekends, deployments, missing milestone that you will never get back. That is not freedom. That is a paycheck with shackles. Now, here's the twist. When you separate, most people think your money ends. That is the fear that keeps soldiers in past their prime. They think, if I leave, I will lose the paycheck, I will lose the benefit, I will lose the security. And it is true. You do lose that base pay. But if you know the system, what you gain can outweigh what you lose. Because veterans can stack income stream that make the active duty check look small. And the beauty of that is they can do it without sacrificing every ounce of their lifetime and energy to the machine. Let's start with disability compensation. This is the piece most active duty soldiers underestimate. They think it is only for catastrophic injuries. They think it is a handout. Wrong. It is compensation for the real, documented cost of service, and it is tax-free. Imagine $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, even $4,500 plus a month dropping into your account every single month tax-free for life. That alone can match or exceed what a young enlisted soldier takes home. And here's the wild part. You don't have to work 60 hours a week, pull staff duty, or deploy to get it. It is yours because you already gave. That money is the floor. It is stability. It is the baseline most civilians dream of. Now, add the GI Bill with BAH. While an active duty soldier is working 12 hours a day for the same check, a veteran can be in class, online, or in person, collecting over $2,500 a month for housing allowance plus free tuition. That is another full-time paycheck, and you can stack it on top of disability. Do you see the difference? An E4 in uniform might be stressing about bills. A veteran E4 who planned right could be sitting in class with $4,000 plus in disability plus $2,500 in BAH, living with peace. That is $6,500 to $7,000 monthly tax advantage without wearing a uniform or saluting anyone. Which one sounds freer? And we are not done. Add civilian career income. While active duty soldiers are stuck at fixed pay grades and promotion timelines, veterans can work into jobs that pay market rates. IT, healthcare, trades, project management, you name it. Some use certification, some leverage the military discipline and experience. And every dollar they make stacks on top of the benefit. Imagine an IT salary of $80,000 plus $50,000 in disability plus $30,000 from BAH. That is 6 figures without even touching the VA loan or other perks. Tell me which E6 or E7 is pulling that without side hustles or spouse income. Let's pause. Can you feel the contrast? Active duty, long hours, constant orders, limited pay, veteran, multiple streams, freedom of choosing the work, benefiter stacking quietly in the background. Have you ever thought about that for a second? That the fear of living is the very thing that keeps people broke. Most soldiers stay because they don't understand the numbers. They stay because they are scared. But what if the scary lead is actually the smarter play? Of course, there's a catch. Veterans only win if they plan. If you get out with no claim, no education plan, no career path, then yeah, you will struggle. That is why so many veterans end up broke. They left the military, but they didn't learn the system. They thought the uniform was the whole game, when really the uniform was just the entry fee. The real game is what you do with the benefit afterward. Let me give you a real example. I have a friend who stayed in for 10 years. Respect, hard worker, good soldier, but he was tired. He ETS with no plan. He didn't file claims. He didn't touch the GI Bill. He didn't line up work. Within months, he was scrambling, rent late, bill stacking, stress high. Meanwhile, I left with a plan. I filed everything. I enrolled in school. I worked IT full-time while stacking BAH and collecting disability. I was not richer. I was not smarter. I was just literate. I learned the rules, and those rules paid me more than rank ever could. Ask yourself, would you rather grind for 20 years hoping to retire at 50% pay, or use one contract to unlock 6 figures in value before you even hit 30 years old? Most soldiers never stop to ask that question. They think staying in is the only safe move, but safe is not always safe. Sometimes safe is slow death. Sometimes safe is broke. Let's talk about the VA loan. I don't use it personally because of my beliefs about debt, but let's be honest, it is powerful. Zero down, no PMI, capped interest. Use right, it is a ladder. Buy your duplex, live in one side, or rent the other. Let tenant cover the note while you pocket BAH or disability. Civilian would kill for that leverage. Active duty soldier dream of it. Veteran can execute it. Again, the difference is not the benefit. It is whether you use it or not. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but active duty has healthcare, a steady check, security, sure. But what is the cost? Long hours, deployment, missed milestone, wear on your body, stress on your family. And what is the ceiling? Rank and time in service. Meanwhile, veteran with a plan can earn more, live freer, and still access healthcare through the VA. It is not perfect, but it is there. Add it to the stack, layer by layer. The veteran life outpaces the active duty check. Let's zoom out. Most people think stability comes from one job. That is why they cling to the military paycheck. But real stability comes from multiple streams. Disability, education allowance, civilian salary, smart housing. That is the stack. That is security. That is why I say veterans can earn more than active duty soldier, because it is not about hours worked. It is about system understood. Have you ever noticed how the broke veteran and the wealthy veteran both wear the same uniform? What separated them was not MOS, was not deployment, was not medals. It was literacy. One left with nothing because they never learned. The other left with leverage because they studied. That is the fork in the road. Which side will you be on? So yes, most soldiers live broke, but they don't have to. Veterans can earn more than active duty soldiers if they learn the benefits, file the claim, and build a plan. I'm living proof. Others are living proof. The question is whether you will learn the system or let the system eat you alive. Because at the end of the day, one contract can either trap you or free you. It can leave you broke, or it can set you up with 6 figures in value. Active duty soldier grind for a fish check. Veteran who plan, they build stacks. And once you see that, you will never look at the uniform the same way again. Drop a comment if you have any questions and I will answer them. Thank you for watching till the end. Peace. I'm gone.